In this lecture of biomechanics, we are going to study basically the planes and axis, anatomical reference planes and axis. So, anatomical reference planes are three imaginary cardinal planes. Basically, the cardinal planes are the imaginary perpendicular reference planes that divide the body in half by mass. Because if we say that in a simple way, we divide the body into halves, so they are half by their mass, and these are the planes in which we see the bisect the body in three dimensions basically, and a plane is two-dimensional surface because we basically we want to study, we have this help us to study the basically simple planes. So we say that if we simple way, if we cardinal planes are of the three types: sagittal plane, frontal plane and transverse plane. So sagittal plane is also known as anterior posterior plane. So if we say first, I think so we have to write them three planes. Okay, first one is okay first one is sagittal plane. So we write them sagittal plane. So if we say this is a person like that, and we divide from mid of the person from both sides, they are in equal halves. They are right and left. Both halves are in equal. We divide them vertically. So this is called the a sagittal plane, in which we divide the body into left and right halves. Okay. Uh, so next is the frontal plane. I will explain it. Frontal plane is basically, if we say that a person is, this is a person, and we divide, this is also called coronal plane. So if a person, we divide the we cannot see like that. If we change the pan, sorry, this is not a good pan, I will change it. So this is a pan, and if we say that this is a pan and this is their anterior surface and this is their posterior surface, or front or back side, front is anterior and back is posterior. So if we divide the body in front and back parts, there are back halves of equal mass, so basically this is called the frontal plane. This is anterior, this is posterior, we divide them from mid. If we divide them from mid, this is called the frontal plane, because front and back is divided into. So if we stand like that and divide from our mid in front and back, like that, face is in front and back of the head is back. Next is transverse plane, transverse or horizontal plane. So transverse or horizontal plane separates the body into top and bottom, like that. If this is a person, and we divide them from up and lower halves, like that. If we say that divide in upper and lower halves, like that, from this the both sides of the mass is equal, and we divide them from mid, so this is called the transverse or horizontal plane. So basically these are the three anatomical reference planes. And where are these three planes? Basically sagittal plane, frontal plane, this is like that, and transverse plane. So where these three intersect in a single point, they are known as body center of mass and center of gravity, because they intersect with each other, like that. If we say that if we combine these three lines or these like that, the middle or the center of the mass, or the single point where these three planes intersect, this is called the body center of mass and center of gravity. So this is like that. Now we are going to see whether this is the movements in which plane which movements are occur. So basically in sagittal plane we see that there are backward and forward movements, because we say that they are divided into two, left and right half. So because we in this, the arms and legs are basically the motions of the arms and legs are basically defined, and we perform the forward and backward movement. In this, basically the hip and shoulder joints are mostly involved, like that the bowling action of the bowling, cycling, these are all, or marching like that, they perform their movements in to fro motion. Okay, to and fro motion like forward and backward. So this is like that, we say that these are included in sagittal plane movements. Next is frontal plane movement, which is basically the lateral movement. An example is basically like that, the jumping jacks, side stepping, side kicks. Basically we say that because we divide the frontal plane in front and back halves, so this is like that, we say body is divided into we say a person has is movement of their side, like that front movement is different from the back, or like that we say that the side or lateral movements, because body is divided into front or back halves. Okay, next one is transverse plane. So in third, transverse plane is basically, we include them, is basically a diver. We know that a diver can twist, so the twist of the diver is the like that, these are included in the total body transverse plane movement. Trampolinist is basically like that. Trampolinist is basically a person who is jumping in the who is jumping, that is basically in many amusement parks and etc. There are many types of trampolines from different ages of different ages of children. There are trampoline, so basically a person is jumping on them and they can make a dive, or like that they're used to twist their body. These are all the trampolinistics, or these are basically we say that trampolinistics, this is trampolining, or basically this is the athletes perform acrobatics, which is bouncing on the trampoline. So mostly on the Olympic sports we see them. So this is like that. Then next is like, these are the three types and their plane movements is basically a simple examples. So then we are going to see whether the what are the axes that are included in three planes. So basically if we say that uh, in a simple way, if we say that anatomical reference axis are they, when a segment of a human body moves, it rotates around an axis, an imaginary axis of rotations, like that. So since sagittal, their perpendicular is like that, that makes the 90-degree angle. Basically we take the 90 degree of the plane, so, or perpendicular to the plane. The axes are mostly, we say that they are perpendicular to the plane. So basically this is like that, their plane, and this is the axis, this is the plane, because this makes 90 degrees. So this axis is called the medial lateral axis or the frontal horizontal axis, because it is perpendicular to the sagittal axis. It's like that. So first we write them: medial lateral axis. Next one is anterior posterior axis, anterior posterior axis. And third one is longitudinal axis. These are very easy to understand. If we say that the plane is, or the plane is perpendicular to the axis, so that makes the 90 degree, like that. If we say in sagittal plane body halves are divided into two, so they are divided, their plane is like that, this is like that, medial on lateral or medial side. So this is like that, start from the medial side and goes on the lateral side. sagittal plane. Then in frontal plane we say that this is the part like that. If we say, okay, this is a difficult way to give us an example, but I will give you like that. If you say this is the right half and this is the left half, and from mid this is like that. So basically if we say this is not a good I will give example first from of frontal plane like that. If we take another pan, okay, we take for first we take another pan, okay, this is like that. If you say this is the x, this is the pen lying down is the plane, basically the axis, and the uh, pen is trending like that is the plane. Okay, the pen lying down is basically the anterior posterior axis, and this is another is plane. So this is like that. Basically we say that this makes the 90-degree angle and the anterior posterior angle. So in transverse plane, basically we say that this is an easy way. We say this is the longitudinal axis because they makes the 90-degree, because these are longitudinal, because these lines are horizontal, and we make the vertical or longitudinal line. So this makes the 90-degree. Thanks for watching. If you like it,